Hello everyone, this is Dalster, and today I'm here at the movies. Today I'm actually gonna watch the Little Mermaid movie, and I know people don't like the Disney remakes, but I just wanted to see how the movie is in my point of view. So I haven't watched this movie. I know a lot of people don't like it, probably don't like it because it's like different, but I'm willing to give it a try. Okay, so I just got done watching the Little Mermaid movie, and it wasn't that bad actually. I was expecting it to be really boring and kind of like the Pinocchio reboot that they just did with Tom Hanks recently. It's on Disney Plus, and I gotta say it's way better than the Pinocchio reboot. Any, pretty much any Disney reboot's better than the Pinocchio reboot. But I really like the story. I feel like there's a lot more character and story development within the movie other than the previous movie from 1989. Yeah, I can't believe it came out. I thought it was in the 1990s, but I guess it's 1989. I actually watched the original Mermaid movies from the first one, the second one, and to the third one, which is kind of like a prequel before the first movie started, like the setting of it. Not everything's pretty much the same. I thought it would could stick like the original story where Ariel gets turned into like some kind of earth goddess or something because she was too late to kiss Eric. But it kind of was similar to the 1989 movie. The only difference was that there was a lot more development. I thought the actress that played Ariel did a pretty good job. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's Hallie or Haley. But I thought she did really good. I also think that she sang as good as the original Ariel voice actress from the old movie. Although I gotta admit, I didn't like how they had Sebastian and Flounder, like their character appearances. I thought it looked really like not so good. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, they had pretty much the same exact songs that they had in the original, only they had like two, like maybe three different new ones. Two from Ariel, I think, and one of them is from Aquafina's Scuttle, which I thought was kind of weird and cringe. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not really into rap, but it could be that reason as well. I felt like the actor that played King Triton, Ariel's father, was kind of weak. A little bit the acting. I mean, maybe I thought he did pretty good towards the very end of the movie, but throughout the movie, I just felt like he wasn't like scary enough. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, because I feel like in the original, he was more king and more like straight up serious. But in this movie, King Triton's pretty much like just there, and then towards the end, it kind of got a little teary eyed as he had to say goodbye to his daughter. But it's pretty much similar to the 1989 movie. Ariel collects like all these things that she finds from Earth, and then she has that hidden place, and then her father's trying to look for her, and he can't find her, and then he finally finds her and tears up the whole hidden place that Ariel has all her stuff stored, and she meets Eric, and they skipped the part where the one of Eric's workers did the statue of him, but they just went right to it, like they showed a statue. It was Ariel that actually got the statue, not Flounder. And the original Flounder got it for her. They go in a little detail about Ariel's mother, just for like 2 minutes, like how she was killed by savages. I know in the third movie, if you didn't know, there's a third Little Mermaid movie, Ariel's Beginning. It's on Disney Plus, and it kind of explains what happens to Ariel's mom, which I wasn't aware of until yesterday when I looked up. I was like, "There's a third one," and yeah, there was a third one, and they explained like what happened to her mom and why her dad was kind of like overprotective over Ariel and stuff. In this movie, though, it turns out that Ursula is actually Ariel's aunt. Her brother is actually King Triton, but that she was like dis like how do you say it, like disowned by him, and so that's why Ursula kept an eye on Ariel for so long. So she gives Ariel the potion, and we don't see like her, that the nasty stuff. But because it's a kids movie, I mean, you can't expect anything gross. or I guess not worth seeing, in case you want to know. But anyway, yeah, she goes in the land, and instead of Eric finding her and his dog Max, it was some kind of random boat guy, and he takes her to the castle, and that's where Eric is there with his mom. In this movie, he actually has a mom. His mom's more like really paranoid a little because she thinks that everything bad that happens in the ocean happens to be from the sea gods, which might be true. I don't know. Yeah, so Eric's mom is very skeptical about the ocean and stuff, and I'm trying to remember. But we also get more character development between Eric and Ariel. Like, they go to this area where there's like small vendors selling some hats and fruit and flowers, and Ariel gets a flower and she eats it because she doesn't know how the real world works. And where else do they go? Oh, and they look around Eric's like room full of stuff that he collects from his voyages and travels, which I thought was kind of interesting. Because in the original, they didn't really have much of Eric and Ariel spending time together. But in this one, it felt like a little bit more, and I thought it was kind of romantic. And yeah, once Ursula finds out, she then goes to the world and tries to trick into Eric falling in love with her, so that way Ariel could be owned by her. But as soon as she gets there, Scuttle finds out, and they manage to ruin Ursula's plan. Okay, found a better, quieter spot. I had to go to a different place because my bus came. So as Sebastian and Scuttle were trying to ruin Ursula's plan, Ariel manages to run to Eric and Ursula's wedding, and instead of like the necklace falling on through Ursula, it ends up like Ariel ends up like yanking the necklace from Ursula and manages to break it, and her voice ends up coming back to where it originally was, which is Ariel. So after that, unfortunately, Ariel was too late, and Ursula takes Ariel down to the ocean. And as she's trying to fight Ursula, Ariel's father, King Triton, comes. So King Triton comes to the rescue and stops Ursula from killing Ariel. But as she manages, I think Eric tries to save her, but unfortunately, like, King Triton ends up getting dead, and Ursula ends up taking the rod or scepter from King Triton, and she becomes like more powerful. And Eric tries to help Ariel escape from Ursula, but they manage to get rid of. I think they managed to swim away, but not before they end up killing Ursula's pets. So once Ariel and Eric manage to get out of the underwater, unfortunately Ursula becomes grown, and after seeing her pets die, and she tries to kill Ariel and Eric, but unfortunately, like in the original movie, there's a ship. Instead of Eric, Ariel's the one that uses the ship from down at the bottom of the sea, and manages to poke Ursula to death. And yeah, that's how Ursula dies, like in the original, but it was Eric rather than Ariel. And once Eric makes it to the land, his mom tells him that it's a different, because Ariel's a mermaid, it's like different worlds, so unfortunately they couldn't be together. And Ariel tries to catch King Triton's rod scepter thing from falling from the ocean, but she manages to get it once it hits the ground, and her father gets revived. It's a lot different than the other one. Like in the old one, Ursula has like these weird little plant things around her area, and unfortunately her dad ends up turning into one of those too. But in the end of the movie, once Ursula dies, they all transition back to mermaids and stuff. But in this one, it was just her father that just died. Although there was a cave, I remember in the new one, where you see like these plants grabbing Ariel by the tail. It had actually been a couple days since Ariel and Eric saved everyone from Ursula, but for some reason Eric just doesn't seem to want to move on, and Ariel is also like wanting to be with Eric, and her dad's like noticing and realizing that Ariel's not happy on the bottom of the ocean, so he decides to let Ariel become human and stay with Eric. And so once she gets to the castle, Eric finds her and they manage to hug each other, and I thought they would get married, like there would be a marriage. Usually when you watch old Disney princess movies, right towards the end there's always like a marriage and stuff, but in this one there was no marriage. It was just Eric and Ariel leaving for or traveling somewhere. I think they were traveling to like the Pacific Oceans or Atlantic Oceans. But they all say goodbye, and as she and Eric are rowing a boat, I don't know why they got a small boat. I'm guessing maybe they're going to like the small boat to the bigger one, because there was a bigger one in the background if you look closely. And everyone's saying goodbye to Ariel and Eric, and next thing you know it, all the mermaids appear, and King Triton's there to tell Ariel goodbye, and also Scuttle, Sebastian, and Flounder. They also say goodbye. But so Ariel ends up giving the emerald-looking mermaid to Sebastian, Scuttle, and Flounder because she thinks they would be more capable of taking care of it than she was. But after that, everyone's saying goodbye, and as Ariel and Eric are off on the boat, King Triton stops them and he tries to say goodbye, and he says that, "Oh, we're all here for you," something like that. It was kind of meaningful, and I kind of feel like his acting was kind of good at that last scene. It was kind of sad, like and then you see like all the mermaids around, like especially Ariel's six sisters. I think she has six sisters, and they're all saying goodbye to Ariel and Eric, and that was pretty much it of the movie. It was a pretty sad ending, but I'm kind of glad they didn't like do one where they had a marriage. I don't know if they are gonna have Ariel and Eric get married or have a marriage, or what if they were married? That's what I was asking myself, like, were they married in this movie? All in all, I thought it was a really good movie. I mean, you could call me woke, you could call me liberated or whatever, but I thought the actors and actresses in this movie did a really good job. Except maybe they could have done better with King Triton. I think maybe he could have been a better actor. They could have replaced him with a better actor. I felt like he didn't really have that much emotions, except towards the end of the movie. I thought Melissa McCarthy did a pretty good job playing Ursula. I mean, maybe there was a little weakness, but she did the best that she could. And I liked Haley or Hallie playing Ariel. I thought she was a really good fit for the movie. But yeah, the whole Scuttle thing, that's kind of like, I mean, I can understand why more diversity, but I kind of feel like it wasn't necessary to have Scuttle rap in the middle of the movie. I thought it was really weird. I'm sorry, but I thought it was really weird. But I liked every single one of the characters, except King Triton, though. Except towards the end of the movie, I thought he did a pretty good performance at the end of the movie. And I felt like Eric wasn't that handsome looking, in my opinion, but oh well. Anyway, overall, I would give this movie like a 8 out of 10. I would most likely watch it again if I could, but I'll probably watch it on Disney Plus, though. It wasn't that bad, actually. I thought it was pretty good. Probably one of my favorite reboots besides what's a reboot? Maleficent, which is kind of like a reboot for Snow White. Kind of, not really, but sort of. But all I gotta say is that it was way better than the Pinocchio reboot. I think any reboot Disney comes out was better than the Pinocchio reboot. It's a really good movie. I like that there's more development between Ariel and Eric, because with the Disney princesses in the classic old movies, there's really not much development. They just meet each other, instantly fall in love, and save each other, or mostly the prince saves the princess from a bad villain, and they get married at the end, and that's it. But this movie, I feel like they kind of add a little bit more elements to the relationship between Eric and Ariel, which I kind of liked a lot. I'm no relationship expert, but I feel like this movie kind of like put more detail and development when it comes to romances in movies. especially in Disney. Like, there's not a lot of romances in Disney that kind of make sense. I mean, they do have like some development, but not a lot of development. And I would honestly watch this movie again. Maybe for Valentine's Day would be a pretty good movie to watch. But it was a really good movie. I would highly recommend it. Hey guys, so one quick update about the movie. I'm actually at the mall right now, but I just wanted to update you guys on a final thought before I end the video. So, I know a lot of people, a lot of fans, especially Disney fans, have complained about the Disney movies being all woke and that it's all about this and that and no longer about the magic and stuff. But I do gotta say this. I feel like this movie was pretty good. I keep forgetting that Ariel was supposed to be like the one in 1989, but the big difference between that one and the original is that it's like a brand new era. And I kind of talked to it about my brother, who's like a couple years younger than me, and I kind of had to agree. I think that even though it's like something new that we haven't seen, I think for a long time, even before the 2000s started, we've been getting used to like originally like white characters being like the main character all the time. But now that we're out of like the 1900s and into the 2000s, most notably the 2020s right now, I think it's safe to say that there should be a little bit of change. I mean, I do like the fact that Halle Bailey's like the new Ariel. I didn't mind it, but some people were really bothered by it. I was kind of like, like I don't think it matters anymore. I thought she sang pretty good, really as good as the original actress that did Ariel in the 1989 version. But I do gotta say, for all you homophobic people, there's no LGBTQIA scenes involved, so you're welcome. But anyway, it was a pretty good movie. I would highly recommend watching it, and I'm really happy for the black girls community because at least they finally get someone that kind of looks like them, only with like her hair's a little red orangish. Although I could have wished that they would have had Ariel with more reddish hair. I'm not sure why they had her had like orange reddish kind of hair. Maybe just to fit in with the character or the skin. But I thought she did a really good job. I mean, yeah, maybe some of the actors, like the one that played Trident, was a little bit weak, and maybe with the acting, and even like Flounder, I feel like Flounder should have a little bit of a bigger role, but it was still a good movie. I would highly recommend watching it, and I grew up watching these Disney movies as a kid, and just watching them get rebooted. Some of them were good, but some of them were not good. But this movie, I feel like, was way better than any of the Disney reboots that I've seen so far. Minus Maleficent. Maleficent was really good. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being a different ethnicity for a character. I feel like I've gotten used to it by now, but if you haven't gotten used to it, then I don't know. I think people really need to accept change. As long as it's safe for them and everybody else, that's all that matters. But if it's like not safe, then yeah, I would have a problem with it. But like if it's physically harming me, but it's not really physically harming me. And I just feel like people need to accept new changes. Like not every character is gonna be like white or blonde. There's always gonna be certain characters that are different from one another because our world is changing constantly. As long as we're safe and protected, that's all that matters. Movie wise, it was good. Theater wise, the seating wasn't the best actually. I went to the AMC one because they give a large bucket of popcorn. But the one thing I do have a complaint about is the constant people moving out of their seats. Like there was this group of people that had like their kids, and their kids kept getting up and down every single time in the movie, and I was like, oh my god, sit down, will you? But it was a really good movie. I would highly recommend watching it if you love romance. romance movies, but if you like the chef character from The Little Mermaid in the 1989 version, this movie probably isn't for you because he's not in this movie, unfortunately. Anyway, this is Dalster, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll do whatever I can to put in more videos. Bye guys, I'll see you later.